And in the game earlier today, we mentioned about M&S. He
God,
died
we
10
got the
times
fly quest.
on his base. That is more than any individual player has died in the LCS game this split.
Pretty important game here. Let's see this. It is not live, but we are reviewing this.
Oh.
Or watching it.
It's a lead.
Speak through trap, got Draven, Philios, Flash.
Yeah, FlyQuest had a stronger level 1, so they 5-man got that ward of blue buff. There is a sweeper on Sven, but they currently... What's the cooldown on it?
He placed the ward. You
he
see
placed the ward and swapped
the ward on the on the bottom side. If you
so they have no way of sweeping
this.
This
Be available until the minion, monsters spawn. So he can get it. It'll just be a little bit late.
Cloud9 continuing with their cluster over in the jungle. Blue now spawning. We are for sure looking at the jungler specifically in this early game, how Blabber looks to enable these lanes to unlock them for that early power and get this Draven to a strong place to contest FlyQuest.
And the good thing for Blabber is that you can visit any of these lanes. You will get big returns. They are all high carry potential. Kind of keep things up in the air. That ward playing a lot of information here though for FlyQuest. They see him blue to Gromp. So they
Impact, you should know
Jax
is really strong.
All right, but bringing some attention over to the FlyQuest side.
Skipping the
pretty distinct in what Blabber is trying to do to get things ahead for Cloud9, but what are you expecting in FlyQuest to try and offset that?
I think FlyQuest has fairly early information about where Blabber is. They did get warded out themselves. They're honestly, I think, just trying to get out of the first 4 minutes of the game, where I think Cloud9 has a lot of cryo.
Themselves a contender against Cloud9 in those early minutes so they don't fall too behind, but no crazy shenanigans just yet. I think one thing when looking at what Sven is bringing alongside Berserker, how can he use these lockdowns onto Ayla, onto Prince to set up this lane for success, and has been stepping forth so much as a support now with this entirety of this split and having lots of games under his belt. Definitely in the conversation as a top contender.
This is a really big ward here for FlyQuest because now Spica knows that bottom side is fully open. There's no Elise waiting in any brush. He doesn't have to worry about the surprise cocoon combo. So he can clear down through Raptors towards
that's a pretty good ward.
Crab.
So all that's starting to build up some of that farming lead for Spica because of what was afforded through this vision. Very crucial in making sure to maintain proper pathing here.
Oh. So really good warding so far for Vickley. You can see he's got wards on both sides of the river. It's very much a handshake of Scuttle Crabs at the moment because the junglers are pretty much on vision.
Good trades across the mid lane. The charm and the response of the slam down from M&S. Spica in the vicinity, so I think when looking across that riverside with such an emphasis on those jungle rotations, great to point out what Vikla was able to do to create that security for the squad around that positioning, using the teleport now to get back to lane after that heavy trading across.
All right, let's see if we have a wraparound gank here. Spica hovering towards bottom side. There's no wards through the brush, but it's bottom lanes are both recalling anyways, so they're gonna call it a draw.
All right, nothing to be had over on the bot side, even with Spica's presence. All the while, Blabber making his way towards top. Fudge going in for the stun, gets lots of damage and first blood.
See, getting Jax ahead in this lane.
And there's those returns on the carry for top side here. Blabber able to follow up the flash cocoon into the Fudge stun. And now Big Wave pushing towards his tower, teleports back from Impact here to try and make sure this wave crashes.
Yeah, and interestingly, that lane was going fairly well for Impact. The wave will crash. He should be able to get back. If that would have landed, it would have been huge. But now Fudge is going to be the beneficiary of that huge wave. He won't be down in lane, and it accelerates Blabber.
That was so
Teleport
greedy. He wanted the cannon, bro.
Fudge after that play from Blabber, doing
He wanted
exactly
the
what he
cannon
wanted to
so
see him do
bad.
on the Elise.
Yeah, always looking for that early first blood money so you can get your Sorcerer's Shoes. Move speed, spell pen. Exactly what you need for the early stages. Now looking a little bit towards bottom side. There's a lot of wards in these lane brush for FlyQuest though. Really good side lane wards here. Do see the Elise slipping through. With the bottom side push on the minions, though, they can just rotate right over to Dragon. 5.5 minutes in, get that stacking.
Yeah, nice and early. There was that early control that was thrown down from the FlyQuest side, but now Cloud9 collapsing upon to take overall control of this area. Prince and Ayla in the vicinity, taking out a control on their own. Vikla posing a potential collapse, but the Dragon is good for Cloud9. The root, the pull-in, the stun-up, and more support eliminated for Cloud9 in favor of themselves. What a blast across the Riverside.
Yeah, and the cash-in for Berserker. I think that was such an amazing play by Sven. I was just about to say, this seems like such a more focused Cloud9 than we saw in the first game of the day, but then M&S dies and Blabber's in River.
Oh, still going for it. Spica, the head-to-head, Blabber getting out of there safely. Oh, a close one at that.
Fudge continuing to pound away on top side. He's out of mana, though, so it doesn't look like there's going to be any tower dive or any action there. Honestly, with both M&S and Ayla going down, those are the two death leaders for their teams from the earlier game of today as well. Both getting picked on, kind of. And here it is. Sven going right for it, flashes. Ayla does not flash in response. Gets nailed. Sven hits him with the emote as well.
M&S down, level 6 versus level 5, though, I think was kind of trapped in River, trying to support his team. A little bit reminiscent, actually, of his first LCS game against Golden Guardians, where he was a little bit split off from his team.
Yeah, pulled over to the Dragon for the team, then trying to get back the lane. And Vikla had as well pushed the wave into the tower, so denying those minions to him.
So a good play of aggression from Sven to use that flash to get the kill onto Ayla, but the response from FlyQuest to collapse upon M&S down on mid side means that the gold itself is even. You still have to consider where that gold is building, and getting that advantage onto someone like Berserker on the Draven being so important for the Cloud9 side, whereas FlyQuest finding the angles to respond to get kills, but looking for another opportunity for objective control in the future.
Yeah, and overall, I think this game has gone about how you would have expected the first 7 minutes, 40 seconds to go from draft. It's still very close, very competitive. I also do want to point out, like, the level of comfort between the players in this game. Like, I'd say Ayla, his best champion is probably Thresh. If we even think back to his LCS debut last year in Lock-In, his best games were on Thresh. He's been struggling a little bit, throwing him on Thresh with Prince's Aphelios. Very comfortable for that bottom lane. And even on the side of C9, we know how aggressive M&S wants to try and play in lane, so the Jace does make sense. I really love the teams really giving their best shot in this match for first.
All right, this is a classic one. Spica goes over. Jungle helps mid lane push out. They have mid lane priority, rotate over to the Rift Herald, and that means with all this vision, Blabber trying to make a play on bottom side. Maybe they go for a dive. There is a stacked up wave here. Berserker gonna try and get, oh, it's red-white guns, though.
I think they're gonna lose the wave.
Red-white guns is so scary.
Red-white fight, right? Is that the say?
Oh. Vikla marked out pretty low. Unstoppable force coming from Impact for the response. A good blast. M&S eliminated by Fly.
This could also be like the LCS regular season single day death record for a player. Because he's now at 12 on
Do we just keep counting from the last game? Did he end with 10? So he's up to 12 now?
Yeah, he's up at 12.
Okay. Well, that was actually technically a solo bolo as well.
All right, here the dive is good. Then gets
Red,
one
white,
lock
don't
with their
fight.
teleport in response. A good blast onto Sven. Goes down. The charm attempted, but Blabber making sure to avoid as much as possible. A good hook, a good kill. Vikla with the credit.
There's Ayla waking up, finds a nice one, snags Blabber, gets the double buffs over here for Vikla. The Ahri now set to try and carry through mid-game. Double buffs on Vikla, 2 kills for his name. He's getting rich very quickly off these skirmishes.
Yeah, and I think with all the talk that there has been about Berserker, Blabber, Fudge, Spica, Ayla, is Ayla versus Winsome the reason that FlyQuest hasn't looked as good in the first half? I would say Vikla has had the biggest drop-off of any player for FlyQuest from first half to second half. So for this game, getting this technically a solo kill against M&S and then teleporting down bottom, he is now going to be in a position to carry this game.
It feels like sometimes the conversation surrounding Vikla was under the radar of a star Prince player in the end, right? And now getting moments to be part of the combo more.
And then looking at the tower dive, Ayla's the one who starts it out. He got the original death sentence onto Renata, follows it up here. Blabber goes into human form real quick. drops immediately here to Vikla, and now we get to see what can he do with the extra money. Fudge, classic top laners, alone time up there. He has been laying it into Impact since the beginning, although Impact doing a good job not dropping too many CS in the process.
Yeah, Sion definitely able to hold the zone in the early laning phase. One of the reasons he's such an effective tank in the pro game. And we got this Infernal Drake up with Prince still being able to get lane trial, but you can see Cloud9 trying to retake through the river.
Berserker having double sums is critical here. Berserker with flash and plant.
Another hook!
Oh, the follow-up is good. Sven
Got him!
again targeted, eliminated. FlyQuest with the follow-up. Vikla holding his little heart out to try and get some action onto remaining Cloud9 members, but Spica being marked down to 50%, still has the protection of his team.
Another massive hook there by Ayla. It was a very difficult dragon for Cloud9 to retake. I think they feel the pressure to try and stack dragons early, but that was just not the time to move in.
Blabber's still around, trying to decide.
He's really going for this.
Yeah, it was.
What is MNS's plan here?
Oh, going in, whirling death from the downtown.
This shit is so ass, bro. What
Another
the fuck?
taken away. Amunet to fall. Blabber wants to get the response onto Vikla before he himself falls to the dagger of FlyQuest. But another hook, another follow-up, another flash forward. Speaker going in for it. Gets the kill. The aggression being rewarded. It's just a slap back and forth between these teams. Fudge getting his time to shine in the sun. But what was happening there?
I guess that was the plan. Like, I guess they actually won that fight. They get the shutdown onto Vikla. They kill Spica. I don't think they ended up getting his bounty. That's going to be a post-death bounty, but they are now up 500 gold in the game, and they got a kill onto Fudge and another one onto Berserker.
That was a crazy ass.
If you're dying, just fight until you start winning.
I mean, look at this read. It's a 2v5. MNS is like, I guess I'm just going to do damage and die, which is what happens.
So they did. You could tell the comms were ready, though, because Berserker throws his ult early. They're trying to combine the Jace melee form engage with the Berserker ultimate, but it's very, very sketchy. Blabber then dodges out on that W, trying to get backwards. Prince goes down. Berserker also giving up on the kill.
More fight and going at it again. Blabber, the subject of Spica's gaze, and the rest of the team is here to follow up. Amenes from over the wall wants to get some of these shots left. Going in. Ayla lands the death sentence, follows up the box, thrown down for the action. Shelly's still getting that charge onto Berserker. Plays it out. Berserker wants to throw down the whirling death. Gets the double kill. What you want to see from draven.
Nice. One more. Nice. Berserker.
Berserker wants that MVP. Oh my God, that draven. Not a combination. He gets the revive on the bailout as well. Berserker knows. He knows this is all on him to try and save this game with how quick it's going in the favor of FlyQuest with all those kills. And so Berserker just sends it. Blast cone's over, kills them all.
I gotta say, that was a very valuable moment. He now has 2,500 gold of value, able to just fill his inventory with damage.
Look at the mini-map right now. Look at the mini-map.
He's in mid.
Up.
He's on his way.
He's walking up on Draven. You see the Ahri come over, double dashes with her ultimate.
And then I also have to say, like, he's biding his time until Spica's got nothing left. They don't expect him. And I think both teams are completely ready to throw down here. They're able that... getting that whirling death, and then such a clutch bailout from Sven. I don't think Prince was necessarily tracking the cooldown because it comes in last second, able to get the revive, and then just... how far into the game are we? 13-minute quadra kill? Unbelievable.
Where's that gold graph? Where's that gold graph?
1,000 total gold earned.
Look at that gold lead for Cloud9. I wonder where most of that gold is. That's a pretty hefty red bar there at the top of the charts.
Just wait till that Infinity Edge comes in, and you really start to see it. Everybody's going to be keeping track really himself.
But that's
Bailout.
or... Oh, yeah.
Already setting up for the fight. The attempt out from Prince.
Even though it's kind of scary.
We play
Nine continuing on to that dragon focus, picking it up for themselves. Vikla wants to get some kind of consolation prize. M&S going and flashing away to avoid the charm and the Rift Herald that was previously acquired, having been dropped down at that moment to try and draw some kind of pressure considering Cloud9's focus.
800 gold.
And the storyline behind that, the fact that they are neck tight now with Prince really matching up against one another, and FlyQuest is
slowly moving in ward line. I wanted introduction, even just with
all of that considered, of where the advantage
out, and Vikla still just dominates the Jace in the side lane. So that's why you see M&S actually just avoiding players, getting a little bit of gold back, but because he's getting this Turk gold, the rest of the team has to play defense.
Yeah, with that push, Cloud9
or I think
upon Blabber.
Jace's game is over, but probably not anymore. If he gets a few items and snipes Prince with an EQ, it's still gonna hurt.
Spica and Vikla prize alongside that river where they have the most.
No, the days of only over because it's tap there is they're
also behind. He's been a lot of it has had to be Vikla, Spica, Impact, but now with the Infinity Edge, he's gonna be able to do stuff.
More now.
Oh, so good.
Well played, well played. Nice, good flash.
Good play.
Melt the
Yeah,
Baron.
that's high grizz, bro.
Actually, just white-green.
Game.
Even we'll see what FlyQuest can get with this Baron. But
She
Jack,
just
that is
beat
a plus 800 gold Baron. Great.
That's not that much.
Cloud9 got a dragon.
Oh, Sion R's away, but
Dragons
Jax
worth
flashes and blocks
600
it.
gold currently,
Wow.
if the Baron doesn't get anything done, because they can still siege with the power from Baron, and they're going to be getting some turrets.
That's why I love watching these two teams fight. They're so fast. Neither of them blinking in these choices for the objectives. It's just full commit to the other side of the map. Cloud9, lickety split, take 3 immediately.
And that full commit to the strategies from both sides, I think that shows the contention when trying to figure out what is the better play because of that trying to offset
Play, but into the small so.
Still.
The fly
got it.
On the day.
Drake fight, but they're so active, a wipe could happen at any moment.
Oh, the knockback.
That was quick up and down.
Another death into his pocket, stacking up on the day.
There are the
that gold lead that I fly.
Yeah, I feel like this
Has to use it.
very quickly now with the Lord Doms for but see if it's force.
Get that.
So can Cloud9
That one looked
fun.
Okay.
gets him where he's effectively has to be pushed off when Ayla's one of the ones you're looking to have that protective capability. So can Cloud9 capitalize upon that? They're going for the tank.
He's getting deleted, though.
That did not take them long.
Lord Doms. He got Draven, though. He got
Berserker ready to pop off so they can get this dragon right here, even with the charm being eaten by
He's trying to steal. No, keep it out of here.
Blabber secures the dragon, getting the soul. Moonlight Vigil dishing out a decent amount of damage, but nothing to be followed up upon yet. Vikla looking to get some kind of kill for the reprieve of what just happened.
Prince.
But Cloud9.
He has flash.
On the retreat, they do manage to disengage here. What a play for them to make sure they took that dragon and were stacking them.
My God.
All right.
Yo.
If you come at the king,
Blabber
you
is
best not miss. Blabber dodges a charm, hits the cocoon, sends a Vikla back to base, and with that, Cloud9
Thank you, Kobe, for
throw
announcing
their
that.
stamp down. My goodness, all damage all the time.
Yeah.
I love it.
So the gold is actually even before this, and Impact is actually quite fed, but Berserker is even more fed. They just
This is what I'm saying.
root him.
It melts through tanks, doesn't matter.
The Evan Shroud that Sven had enhanced the damage they could do to Sion there, so Berserker hit him for even more. Now they're going for Baron.
Movement to the Baron side, and lots used on Fudge, but Fudge does not mind eating up these hooks and more. Cloud9 secure the Baron, trying to turn the fight onto FlyQuest. A follow-up hook in moment for Cloud9.
Let's go.
They're the #1 seed.
Dun, dun, dun,
Something
dun, dun.
the top of
Let's
the
go,
screen
see.
doesn't tell you. Concentrated
Let's
gold
go, see.
on